Welcome to Econ Cowboy. This is D2C's daily show where we believe ads are not bad, ignorance is expensive, and the American dream is alive and well on the internet, my friends. It is Monday, April 13th, 2026, in the year of our Lord. We stand coming to you high atop a beautiful hill country-ish Austin, Texas. We're brought to you by Seguno, Postscript, and Incense, and we have got a jam-packed show for you today. The internet runs amok, debating the pay of the LA Chargers social media coordinator position. If organic social is so important, then why will companies not pay for it? Another leak from Anthropic has gone out over the weekend, and it seems like they are going to be eating Lovable's lunch very soon. At least that is the plan. Chat with AI, create your websites and apps and such. We will get into it and we'll see what happens. Brett Ender, co-founder of Noble Origins, is going to be joining us today to talk about the purity within protein and the oncoming CPG movement. We also have Sawyer Covington, who's been a part of every go-to-market like big boom app service software that you can think of. He has now co-founded a new company that is rolling out very soon. It's been in stealth, and he is going to open the kimono and let us in on what is going on. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Colin Doherty. Colin, get in here. Get in here, Colin.
Let's go. What?
Wow.
What a day. You feel good in these?
I have to say that we are looking good in these marine layer Seguno vests that arrived over the weekend.
Oh my gosh.
How about a little West Major action
Double
there from our boy, Nick Weta in Arizona, the true Wild West. Chris Geis coming through with crucial gear, and we had to rock 'em on the show today. Colin, I know that you saw what was happening all weekend long, not just on the Masters, but what people were debating when it comes to social media pay. This post from the LA Chargers went out, and this comes to us via James Ebo. The Chargers are looking for a full-time social media coordinator. If you're interested in joining, then go to the Chargers LinkedIn page today and complete the application. Seems to be a pretty pedestrian post. Got 6.4 million views. I wonder why it's in El Segundo. They only want to pay 50 to 60K. Now, there was a lot of hubbub about that. James followed up on this and said the pay isn't based on location, okay, or what an organization is offering. This is the average in the sports industry until you reach a certain level. This is the norm. I actually kind of agree with him on this.
I agree with him as well.
I agree with him. It is the north. It is the norm. G. Baroth. Oh, he deleted his tweet. Did he? Oh, no, here he is. It still exists here. It still exists here. He said, check salary, and then laughs continually for about 3 lines. Greg is he is a social savant, a social media coordinator for the Stars, one might say, in Southern California. And I particularly loved this reply from I hate it most. 60K in LA, that should be plenty in 1998. That is correct. It would be great. It would be great in 1998, which is why a big reason why this is going so viral. And then I also thought Kalen Fullerton, what they put on here, they throw away your application if you use uppercase. That's great. That's great. But Rachel Carton released some excellent demographics here across industries that really verified this point. And it really depends on what sector you are working in. As we look at this here, Colin, any initial responses from you on this in total?
Yeah, a couple things. I mean, this is unfortunately par for the course when working in sports. I initially worked for the Premier Lacrosse League for the first year that they were debuting.
Did you really?
I did. Yeah, I was a part of the first initial push out for the Premier Lacrosse League. And this is completely on brand for anybody working in sports. you understand that the pay is going to be horrible. On top of that as well, the hours are absolutely atrocious. A lot of it has to do with the fact that the job is a very shiny job.
It's a
Everybody wants
shiny job.
It's a really shiny job. Everybody wants to be the, director of social media at the Jets or the director of social media at XYZ. And so you kind of have to put in your stripes here and just deal with the fact that it's going to be not a great salary. And then you hope that you're putting in the hours and they'll give you something later on the backside. The other issue with this that I have a big problem with is the fact that it's this salary in Los Angeles, which means that it's going to be in California taxes, and you have to pay to also live in Los Angeles. So it's kind of like an insane ask. It's like live in one of the most expensive cities, pay some of the highest taxes, don't get a really good salary, and then on top of that, you're going to be working your face off.
And
That's kind of it.
that being said, great job to have. Great job to have. I mean, in spite of all this, okay, so I agree with every point that you said. The pay is low.
Sure.
The hours are crazy.
Yeah.
Adding taxes on top. How am I going to actually live? Okay, I think this is the question everybody is trying to answer in California who hasn't already made generational money. How am I going to live? And probably what it means is like every other social media person out there, you probably got to have 2 or 3 ops going. You got to, if you can land this job, why is it incredible? Because you're going to be able to put the LA Chargers on your resume. I mean, in my mind, this is a potential career making role in the sense that it opens opportunities for you.
Totally.
Down the road, whenever, let's say you put in a year or 2 or 3, let's say you move up, you find a way to make it and pay the bills. It's kind of like the story that Sean from Ridge always tells, where he's like living with 6 other dudes and they're all sharing one bedroom, trying to make it. If you can make that work, having that LA Chargers NFL logo on your resume will forever hereafter pay off for you.
Absolutely.
I think the problem is that when I look at and bring up some of these salaries, Jack, from these different industries, when I look at all of these sectors, okay, small business low, museums automotive low, sports low, nonprofit higher, freelance higher, at the highest is tech. But still, even with tech, we're talking 125. Okay.
Yeah.
The issue is that regardless of what sector you're operating in here, how much are you going to want to make? A little bit more, or maybe double more, or maybe triple more. Okay. That is going to be the desire. And this is the fundamental problem with social media, that inside of marketing, it is the furthest away. Organic social is the furthest away from the money. It's the furthest away from the revenue goal line. It's the hardest 100%. To attribute. I made this banger post. Look at how much money I made for the business. Look at that P&L. Look at it go up and to the right. That's because of me. Look how neatly I can track that. The problem is that that's hard to do. It's hard to track that. And so the unfortunate thing is that organic social, although it's all the rage and we all need to do it better and better, and it's very important to all of our businesses, it's the furthest away from the money, and thus the people who are over it get paid the least. It's a problem. It's a fundamental problem, because these people and their skills, they're so important and in demand, yet hard to get the bag from a traditional jobs standpoint. Is that fair?
Super fair. Also, with this role in sports specifically for social media, the turnaround time is bananas. And you are working every single weekend, especially in season. You work 7 days a week. It is nonstop. I know the girl who runs all the socials for the Ravens, and it is a nonstop job. It is never like you can never turn off. I would recommend this job to someone who is willing to put in 80 to 90 to 100 hours, who is single and does not have kids and is basically willing to operate on 500 to 800 grams of caffeine and is like, the next 3 years of my life are basically going to be pain. I'm going to go on really cool. I'm going to go on really cool adventures. I'm going to get really cool content.
Lots of swag.
Lots of swag out the wazoo. I will not have any money after it for 3 years. No. But this is going to be basically, it's going to be a jumping pad from boom, and I'm going to explode.
Yeah. It's a stepping stone.
If you go with that in mind, if you go into this job with that in mind, you're good to go.
Yeah. And I think ultimately, perhaps the path for making significant monies in this realm is by building up your own thing, building up your own accounts,
100%.
Eventually launching your own service. Say, look what I did with the chargers. Look what I've done with my own accounts. I can do this for you, and it's gonna cost premium, and you can't afford all my time, but I'll give you some of my time, and it's going to cost you a significant amount of money. Maybe you become, the new Rachel Carton over whatever sports social media niche, and you develop a paid newsletter. Maybe Anthropic sees you doing whatever you're doing, and they decide to pay you $500,000 a year. Maybe, but I think obviously this is a beginning role, and the path to ultimately getting the bag here is probably building your own thing, your own offering, your own accounts. Otherwise, I think you're going to be relegated to a consistent, regardless of the sector, a consistent feeling of like, this is better. I need to make a little more, and I wish I could.
Also, there's another weird little issue with this role in the fact that there's a ton of bureaucracy for what you can say on the account.
Oh, I believe that.
You have to deal within really strict parameters. And this isn't like you're taking over a little mom and pop business. No. There's a built-in audience that is going to call you out on it almost immediately. There's a lot of people that follow the Chargers. And so if you mess up, like there's a couple folks that went viral this past season just for some posts that they did, and not in a good way. And so, I mean, you got to play A+ ball every day.
A+ ball all the time.
Every day.
Always on. Making it happen. But a resume maker too. If you get in there and crush, and crush. We have got Brett Ender, co-founder of Noble Origins, coming in here. But before he does, let's talk about incense, ladies and gentlemen. We all want better ads, don't we? Yeah, we do. We do. And we'd love to have actual humans involved in the process. But the process is so disjointed. Finding the right creators, manually negotiating usage rights, etc. It's a giant headache. That's why Incense exists. It is the all-in-one UGC and influencer marketing platform. Vetted creator marketplace, not just you finding people, but them applying to you. Automated influencer outreach, built-in campaign management, content delivered in as little as 14 days. Okay. So much better than just randomly finding a TikTok and hoping it changes the trajectory of your business. We're talking about real relationships with real creators and getting creative that can really scale for you. They just released the UGC Playbook 2.0. Go get it at that URL scrolling across the bottom of the screen. And since it's got a free trial, get in and test drive that platform. Tell them Colin and I sent you. Scale in the era of Andromeda up into the right forever and ever. Many thanks for Incense being part of the show. Now, we have one of the biggest voices in the nose to tail animal-based eat real food movement that is now thoroughly in the zeitgeist. So much that even the government is behind it. He has been part of this, a clear clarion voice amidst all of this. He is the co-host of the Meat Mafia podcast, and he is also the co-founder of Noble Origins. We want to bring him in here, talk about his story, how he got here, and what Noble is doing this year that he's excited about. Everyone, welcome Brett Ender to the show. Brett, get in here. Get in here, Brett.
Gentlemen, look at you guys. How you doing?
Shirt.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Brett, we're excited to have you in here, man. I don't think that we have officially met yet. I think this is the first time that we've talked. Is that the case, Brett?
I think so. It was time that we put an end to that for sure.
It's time. It's time. Too many mutual friends and too many good things happening here in the Austin, Texas area that you have been a part of. I'm getting choked up. Thinking about it.
Emotional about beef.
I am. Brett, you've got a huge following now. You've been doing the Meat Mafia podcast. Everybody, I always hear of you as the Meat Mafia guys, the Meat Mafia bros. But I'd love to just get a little backstory on you on how you got here, founding Noble and what you guys are doing now. What I've seen is the same with our friends over at Heart and Soil and other places.
Mm-hmm.
People, they get into this movement with on a mission for a reason. A lot of times it ties to their own personal experience. How did you get here, brother?
It's a great question, man. I would say I think I started posting content with my co-founder Harry in about 2022, but it's really a decade-long journey. So Harry and I, we played college baseball together. We're both Northeast guys originally. Don't hold us.
Where, brother?
I'm from New Jersey, and then Harry's from DC.
I love it.
Yeah, we went to Babson College, so small little entrepreneurship school right outside of Boston. We were teammates, so that's how we've met. So we've been best friends for about a decade. And I think you mentioned this, Chris, but a lot of people that have gotten in the space, typically there is some type of health story tied to it, right? Where you're trying to figure out the root cause of, hey, why did I get sick to begin with? And I think the statistics are 70% of all the calories consumed in the U.S. are from ultra processed foods. Millions of people have autoimmune diseases. It's crazy. So you're starting to see this more and more. And I think social media has become this, there's a lot of noise on X for sure. And it's easy to, I guess, major in the minors, but it's a great place to find just root cause cures to their issues. And that's really what I experienced is I had ulcerative colitis bad going into my senior year. So essentially my colon just had these like bloody ulcers all over it. Was on a ton of drugs. I was literally taking biologic medication that was $50,000 per infusion.
Seriously?
I was getting that every 8 weeks. So I was on those drugs for about 5 years. So I cost the healthcare system a few $1 million just being on those drugs and meds. And it's funny because I definitely have a soft spot for the doctors that I was going to at the time because they had great bedside manner, but it was always like, hey, this is something that's incurable, but it's treatable. So you're going to have to be on this medication for the rest of your life. And the more research I was doing, I started coming across other people online that had, Crohn's, colitis, rheumatoid arthritis, all different types of autoimmune issues that were essentially cutting out processed foods, refined grains, sugars, even fruits and vegetables, which is a bit extreme, and just focusing on those animal-based products. And so I was like, well, look, I don't want to be on drugs and meds the rest of my life. The worst case is this doesn't work and I stick to it. But what if I could get off these drugs and meds? So it kind of started with that inception of belief, and the diet worked unbelievably well for me to the point where I've been drug-free since 2022. I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. And it was really that journey that, just kind of pushed Harry and I to just start creating content in the middle of COVID. We were both working corporate jobs. I was in tech sales in New York. He was in real estate private equity in Boston. And he was really the only other buddy that I had that was really passionate about paleo, carnivore, endurance racing, sourcing food from farms. And so we really bonded around that connection and just started posting on X. And that's really how our lives changed, was just taking something that had happened to us and just sharing our learnings, like not trying to be anything that we weren't. We were kind of like just the everyman's, foray into meat and regenerative agriculture. Everything started. So
I love it. That's incredible, man.
That's absolutely incredible. Yeah, I think, Dean, same story with Dean with ulcerative colitis.
Yes.
And that's what kind of led his story as well, which is incredible what they're doing. I mean, you and Harry were college teammates. So how does that transition work from, okay, we're college teammates, buddies, we're best friends, and now we're going to be co-founding this company? How does that work? And what's some kind of, some scars and some unlocks you guys had because you guys were so close? You guys are so close. It wasn't like, hey, you went and founded a co-founder, your best friend.
Totally. And Colin, too, we could take that one step further. We were also roommates for 3 years too.
Oh,
so we joked that
you know a lot about each other.
We had bunk beds. Like we were, but it's I would say that I think both of us have just done a really good job in, like, we have a lot of similar strengths, but we also complement each other super well. And so even like the first piece of content that I posted was just documenting that story of like my ulcerative colitis journey, going from all these infusions to ending up doing an Ironman. And that piece of content really popped off. And that was the inception of belief around like, hey, you actually have a voice. Now go all in on content creation. Yeah. And Harry was really the one that was like, hey, this story is really unique. And I think people would resonate with it. So like he helped edit up that first thread for me, the blog, and I've done my own versions of that for him. So I think us just we've always just owned the fact that neither of us would be where we are without the other person's strengths and weaknesses. And I think that's the biggest thing in a partnership is it's just easy as time goes on to be like, well, I'm doing all this. And what is this person doing? Or how is he or she contributing? Right. Where I think we both just own the fact that like God's given us like this unique combination of strengths, weaknesses. We have this amazing friendship. We're on this journey together. And like that keeps us very humble when times are really good. And then times are also really tough too, because we've probably experienced like the highest highs and the lowest lows, just trying to force of will something from scratch.
Yeah. You know, Brett, as you talk here, the thing that sticks out to me most is that as you're talking, I'm realizing that Noble was born out of you guys becoming content creators. I mean, you're on the internet, you're talking about what you're experiencing. You're obviously building an audience and getting in solidly into this animal-based, carnivore, primitive health kind of niche. And then Noble is born from that. I did not know that was the trajectory of how Noble came to be about, but it makes all of the sense in the world. I would imagine that the muscles that you guys have built around creating content has to be a huge help in bringing the best protein in the world to the masses. Totally, I mean, it has to be a huge help, right?
Well, I need to do my job and get you guys loaded up on the good stuff too. So we'll connect offline about that.
All right.
But we definitely fall into that like creator, operator, founder archetype. And I think you guys are spot on where, we were even talking to our marketing agency a couple of weeks ago and they were like, we were trying to tell them, we're like, guys, literally send us scripts and send us concepts and we will spend a week and try and get you guys 100 pieces of fresh creative to be able to test. And their feedback to us was like, you have no idea, like, that's like, you're our dream client just because you guys are so willing to be on the camera. And I'm sure you guys experience this too, right? It's like we're 400 episodes deep into the podcast. We've done a lot of media training. We've gone on a ton of other shows. We've embarrassed ourselves online too. So it's like, that ability to create content cheaply and test it and not need to be so reliant on like all of these heavy paid UGC content creators. That's been a huge calling card for us for sure. So I appreciate you saying that.
It's a huge advantage. I mean, there's so many founders, you kind of come at it two different ways, but there's so many founders who are intense product guys, but don't want to get on screen. It's like, keep me away from the camera. I've got to find a different face here, but you guys having this in a kind of a dynamic duo way and being born out of the content engine, I mean, that just makes so much sense, giving you an unfair advantage for the business. That is incredible. That's awesome, man.
That's been great. Yeah. And I would say a big thing for us the last 6 months is you had commented on the X following, which is great because the first 2 years we really weren't running paid ads. It was primarily all organic growth and then affiliate growth through like a lot of these kind of like health and wellness influencers and content creators that we had come into contact with through the brand. But we've really spent like the last half of the year almost like poking our heads up and thinking to ourselves, hey, we've had this ability to leverage agencies and we've raised capital, which is great. But, hey, we need to dig into the product more, the ops more. We kind of need to wear like the CFO hat a little bit too. Yeah. So like partially why we've stalled content creation, and which some people might not agree with, is like we just wanted to get a little bit more proficient in our operational expertise so that we could make better hiring decisions and bring on better agency partners. You see a lot of these young brands. I feel like they kind of validate their idea on X, and they'll come to me and say, hey, should we raise money or should we bootstrap? And I was like, keep building this thing out. Like, don't raise yet. Answer all the customer service tickets yourself, call on customers, dig into the Meta Ads account, create your own, first 100 pieces of content that you run paid ads behind yourself. It's going to let you hire so much better just by I think developing those muscles, like you guys said a couple minutes earlier. So
yeah, you got to do the thing yourself, right? You got to get in there and do it and learn the lessons and make the mistakes. Then it becomes so much easier to find this kind of person. My weaknesses here don't fit. I need this kind of person. I can tell them to avoid this and that. Operationally, that makes so much sense. Sorry, go ahead, Colin.
Oh, all good. I was just going to talk a little bit about the Meat Mafia podcast. I mean, that is a huge lift. I think Chris and I can attribute to the fact that it's a massive lift for you to do that. Are you trying to use that as basically a first touch point where first customers come in and discover you? Have you seen that already shift in the business where you're saying hey, when we first started this, we had 2% of customers come in through the podcast. And now as it's grown over time, first customers are coming in, it's a 20% allocation there. Are you trying to focus on it like that?
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. I mean, when you look at some of our subscription data, there are customers that have purchased north of 30 times they were the OG listeners. They probably listened to 1,000+ hours of the podcast. That it didn't matter if it was beef protein or we sold a meat stick or whatever the product was, they really wanted to try and get behind it. And thankfully they really love the protein powder too. Powerful, man. But we want to get to a point where the podcast and the brand are they become even more integrated where number one, we can grow the show to the point where it's going to constantly be this organic flywheel where we're willing to go behind the scenes, tell people the true nitty gritty, the highs and the lows of building a brand. So to get people to bought in our friendship and us as human beings, but also do it in the right way where we can actually kind of mine 20 to 30 pieces of potentially paid ad content from an episode that we can test on Meta. That sweet spot is what we're trying to get to.
Bananas.
That's so nice. That's bananas.
Bananas.
Yeah, that's absolutely bananas. You're like a paid media marketer's dream right there. If you're saying every episode, I'm going to give you 30 new clips. And he's like, oh my gosh, this is the best guy in the world. This is great.
I think everybody, and we did this early days at Bruce Bolt. It was why I pushed for a podcast so hard. But I mean, it takes work and such, but this is the genius of it, is that once you put in the work, you've got the muscles, you got the systems, et cetera, then you can mine so many organic, social, paid advertising. You can use it for so many additional things. I really dig that. Tell me on this side over here, Brett. I mean, I feel like you guys and a number of other, companies that are kind of at the forefront or riding the wave or at the crest of the zeitgeist that is happening in health right now. The flipping of the food pyramid, eat real food. I mean, this even coming from the government. I mean, it's just so unexpected. I'm sure that it's got to be a help for you guys, but what do you see happening in food, CPG, health, et cetera? Is this fuel for the fire? Are we going to have another decade of better food, more pure ingredients? Is regenerative farming going to make a comeback? What do you see happening 2026 and beyond in this realm?
It's such a good question. I mean, when have you guys been to Expo West before?
I've never been.
I've heard about it.
You guys would absolutely flourish there, and you can actually get media passes for free. I think you guys would
we got to do it. We got to do that.
And you'd probably line up a year's worth of interviews just going there and meeting the founders. But
I love it.
It's you see but when I was walking the floor, it's the amount of protein powders, protein bars, creatine products, creatine sodas, just the way the category is exploding is incredible. And I think that is a bit of a top-down push where you're seeing RFK really push this agenda towards protein, and not just animal protein, but good quality animal protein. And even some of the ranchers that we used to have on the podcast maybe 3 years ago that were just starting to see an uptick in business, they're optimizing their 3PL because they're cold shipping their beef all across the country because they're growing their own social media presences and seeing such an uptick in demand. I think what's going to be tough is just how cash poor a lot of these ranchers are. Right. But you're sitting on this amazing asset, and like for the last 30 to 40 years, there's just been this like kind of quiet consolidation of the ranching industry. So I think I think maybe the future would even be seeing like a different type of model where maybe some type of like regenerative fund comes together where we can all kick in capital and potentially be able to like purchase a ranch and then have like a young operator that's proficient in those regenerative practices, or a family-owned business continue to steward that, just to make it a little bit more financially viable. But even with this incredible uptick in protein and seed oil avoidance and just all of the health and wellness principles that are popping up, I still think there's still going to need to be some deviation from the norm to really make this stuff sustainable. Because at the root level, it's like we have to protect the soil, protect the cattle, and everything kind of flows out of that.
And that's like it's such a huge undertaking. Yeah,
Totally.
that makes sense why there probably needs to be increased government involvement, et cetera, for the movement to continue to thrive and to have more products like this readily available. That's
Definitely
interesting. That's
yes.
interesting.
But I think the important thing though is that like you're seeing a resurgence, particularly of like younger ranchers, like first to second gen ranchers, that they're either getting into the space brand new, or like maybe they're transitioning out of like some corporate job and establish like a passion for ranching. Like Perennial Pastures in San Diego, he's the perfect example of that, where him and his wife worked at Service Now. He got into paleo and then started his own ranch and fundraised for that. Or you're seeing guys and gals that were formerly conventional that started seeing content around regenerative, and they're kind of reestablishing the way that they ranch and farm and the product that they create. Like things are definitely moving in the right direction. So I'm really interested to see like this conversation 5 years down the road, because there have been some massive waves in the space.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Could you talk us through a little bit about what you guys have going in 2026? Any new things you guys are launching? I mean, Chris and I cover this stuff all the time. And so hearing it directly from founders, how they're kind of thinking about the larger market and how they plan on executing and expanding their business.
Yeah. What gets you excited, brother, for what's coming up, man?
That's such a good question. I feel like we're really excited about keeping it simple. And what I mean by that is like Q4, like October was really our first foray into testing things from a paid standpoint, where we had like just raised a fresh round of capital. We got some great content. We found a great whitelisting partner, this guy named Josh Trent, who has the Wellness and Wisdom podcast. And so we went on his show. He specializes in whitelisted style content. So he took that interview and turned it into like ad style podcast content that absolutely crushed for us for a few months.
Love it.
So that was just like a great way to verify the model around like, all right, new customer acquisition like truly is possible through this channel. We're seeing great first purchase subscription rate. Those customers are staying for a long period of time. How do we kind of pour gasoline into that fire? And I think too, Colin, like this is our vanilla protein powder. So it's grass-fed beef protein. So we take the bones with the muscle meat attached and we slow cook it. So it's from the cow, but there's no dairy. So we're really going after the customer. Yeah, they're trying to hit their protein goals, and they've probably tried way before, but the amount of lactose has disrupted their gut. So they're looking for that alternative. And the beauty of beef protein versus collagen is there's a lot more leucine in beef protein, which is key for your muscle protein synthesis. So we want to just keep like honestly hammering that segment. And we don't really have any plans to release additional products. We feel like what customers love is like, hey, it's gut-friendly protein. You throw organs in there. There's a little bit of colostrum. There's collagen. That's super unique to us. I can't really find that anywhere else. So we want to honestly like triple down on the product experience and like perfect that before we start branching out to additional SKUs, which we definitely want to do. But we're like, let's ride protein and try and grow that to like 25 million a year before we really think about product expansion.
I love it.
Gosh, that's awesome. And the fact that I know you heard about the acquisition that just happened with Grunes for 1.2 billion. There's so many similarities that I see between both that business and yours, where we could probably be talking 2 years from now and you're like, hey, this is a $500 million company. And we'd be like, yeah, of course it is. Yeah. But it's so obvious the way that you're building this thing that I think it's not even a far cry to say, hey, yeah, Like this is going to be a $500 million company like in 2 years. No problem. It's just unbelievable what you guys are doing.
Yeah, God willing, man. And I'm sure you guys see this on X too, where like I feel like there's X is like my favorite social media platform. And you definitely see that crabs in the bucket mentality where people are, they're pissed about the formulation or the fact that they got acquired and stuff like that. But like, have you guys had Mark Sisson on from Primal Kitchen? I feel like he would be.
We need to have him on.
We should make that connection. But the people were upset. Some people were upset that he had sold Primal Kitchen to Kraft. And it's like, guess what? Now you can get Kraft in HEB or ShopRite or these like budget grocery stores. And that comes from the distribution of these bigger guys.
Exactly.
And the only way you're going to get these conglomerates to change is to create a product that's healthy enough that they want to acquire it. And they're seeing enough customer demand for this like healthier cohort of customers that they make the decision to actually acquire that. And so I think there's a lot of good that comes from that. So I think that's my advice to certain people, is to not focus on, maybe like nitpicking the formulation or the fact that they sold to a larger company, more so the fact that these bigger guys are acquiring brands that they never would have thought of a few years ago. I think to your point, Chris, that's an indication of how much the industry is changing. But those guys they just kept it so simple. And we've never seen anything like that, like in and out in 3 years. And they got into Costco and they crushed D2C, and it's incredible.
It's incredible.
You're next. I'm calling my shit here on the show. You're next, dude.
Let's go, Brett. Let's go, baby. Yeah. Time to spin up some more ad creative and put that thing up to the moon, baby.
I'm going to record 200 pieces of content with Harry this week just for you guys.
I love it. That's the kind of energy that we need.
Let's go.
Brother, we appreciate you making the time and coming on here. Before you go, tell everybody where to go and get the best grass-fed beef protein isolate in the world. Tell them where to get it.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Nobleorigins.com. That's the best place to order it. We're also on Amazon too. So if you want that same day Prime shipping, you can get it on there. And then we are in a bunch of like smaller boutique wholesale accounts around the country. So we have a store located right on the website too. And then Instagram is noble.protein. But I appreciate you guys. I love listening to your podcast. You do a great job of just making the guests feel important. And that your energy is incredible too. So
we appreciate it. We appreciate yours. We appreciate you making the time. We look forward to having you back, brother. Thank you, man.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Beast.
What a beast. He's next.
Triple down, baby. I'm looking at their caramel flavor right now.
I saw that. Do you see the de leche flavor?
Yeah. Well, which is caramel, right? I mean, I think that's caramel. I think it's the same.
I thought they were different flavors.
Dulce de leche. Maybe they're not the same thing. I was kind of thinking that they are, but my Espanol needs to catch up. Regardless, it looks delicious, and I cannot wait to get it inside my tummy. Now, we have Sawyer Covington, the go-to-market guy. I mean, he's the growth guy. He is the growth guy. And he's coming in here and he's got an exciting new thing that he's been working on, baby. And we're going to get into it. But before he comes, let's talk about Postscript. Ladies and gentlemen, focus is an amazing thing, is it not? When you focus, you get outsized results. That's why when people make the switch to Postscript, who only does SMS marketing, they see on average a plus 22% increase in SMS revenue. Postscript's the only player in the game I know whose goal is to make SMS your #1 revenue channel. That's a tall task, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I made a whole lot of money. When I made the switch, we went from making very little money on SMS at all to being a top 1% account on the entire platform. And the secret was I just did what they said. And what they're saying right now is that you're leaving your customers on red, or even worse, sending them an autoresponder to send us an email when they text in. Go to the conversational report, direct-to-consumer.co/the conversational report. Going to get all the deets on all the money that's being left on the table. You can use their AI shopper to have conversations at scale, brand appropriate, product studied, etc. with your entire SMS list. Go to Postscript, use their AI shopper. Many thanks for them being part of the show. Now, we have the one and only Sawyer Covington coming in here, who is, I don't know if I should say the name or if I should let him introduce it and say the name.
Let's let him do it.
Let's let him do it. Let's let him do
Yeah.
it. He is the go-to-market growth guy for all of the famous brands, software, etc., that has ever scaled and been bought by giant companies. He's done it like 10 times now, and now he has co-founded his own new company, and he's coming in here to tell us about it. Everybody, welcome to the show, Sawyer Covington. Sawyer, get in here. Get in here, Sawyer. Get inside this show. There he is, baby.
Look at the vibes he's got coming from the back.
Vibes. Green. Green is for growth. Up and to the
Green
right.
is for
That's
up and to the right for
all
money.
I see.
Love it.
That's all I see. Sawyer, man, we appreciate you coming in here and making the time to join us, brother. You've got to open the kimono a little bit here and tell us what you have founded, what you're growing, and what is going on. We've left it mysterious for you to give us all the deets.
Okay, awesome. Well, gentlemen, thank you for having me.
Sure.
So I'm Sawyer. I spent the last decade of my life like building early stage teams with basically every consumer brand, from like two guys building their first Shopify store in their garage to like multi-billion-dollar multinational corporations. So
yeah,
it's been a fun ride, but so building general context, basically what my co-founder and I kind of came to the conclusion of is, there's a ton of different softwares for, everything from like, analyzing performance to trying to look at competitor data to trying to source creators to actually producing everything from like the briefs to the reports to the ads, etc. And we decided, what if there was one place that you could basically do everything? So we can, spy on competitors, we can source creators, we can, clone ads directly from the ad library, directly from Instagram social, from like every major platform. And yeah, the intent is really like, how can we help, free up, call it like a creative strategist time that they can focus on the things that are going to be like higher impact for the brand. So, rather than having to like spend hours every single week loading things into Claude or ChatGPT and then trying to like prompt it to get the outputs you want, instead we've got all the performance data already synced up and we can just do it on autopilot.
Wild.
Oh. Wild.
I mean, when you say spy on ads and then copy paste this ad, like make it for me. I mean, that sounds exciting. It probably costs like $50,000 per month is what I would guess, Sawyer. Is that right?
$20.
I wanted to bring that out because, bro, I was on the website. And I was like, I think Sawyer like forgot a couple of zeros here.
I mean, the way that we looked at it is like, candidly, like at first, like, we talked to investors and everybody was like, okay, you need to figure out how to sell this and package this in a way that you can sell 1,000 customers and make $100 million a year. And then I went and looked at every single one of like the fastest growing companies over the last like 12 to 18 months. And I noticed every single one of them had like a pricing plan that was like $8 or $20 or like $15 a month across all five. Like, and they vary from everybody from like Higgsfield to Cursor to Gamma. Like every single one has creator pricing, kind of prosumer pricing. And then of course, as you use the platform more and more, then you can get into some much more expensive pricing tiers. But effectively, every single one of them has entry pricing that just allows it to be really accessible. Like if you're like a random creative strategist on a random direct consumer team, like you can put this on your own credit card to test it if you want to, without having to like worry about, is it going to break the bank? Or like, do I need to go ask my boss? So you can just go ahead and sign up and pay for it and make it easier for yourself to see if you get value out of it. And if you do, then obviously you can, add the rest of your team. And then the way that we've structured it for teams is that it's $40 for teams, but it's pooled usage. So like, it's not per user. It's just, hey, you can keep increasing your subscription rate if you want more usage, but like otherwise, like you could have 5 people on a team and still only pay $40 if one person is doing 90% of the usage.
Oh,
wow, and man. That has worked. That model has worked. You already have 500 plus customers on platform. Is there any initial conversation?
You got 1,000 customers, bro?
You got to update the website. You got to update the
There's
website.
1,000 users as of this weekend. There's 1,000 users. So
let's go.
Yeah, we've been building it in stealth for the last 6 months, but we kind of took it into like semi-stealth about like 45, 60 days ago. So we use the platform internally. Like I literally brief myself with our ads internally every single day. So like that's what this is. This whole entire thing is a studio that I built for us to be able to run ads using the platform. So we like analyze our own data, we produce new briefs, I shoot the briefs, we hand it to a video editor, we put it in the ad account, and then turn around the next day, we look at the performance and platform, and then we do it again. So like, we literally use it internally. And we're running pretty like best in class cost per acquisition, like cost per free user for software, almost completely in stealth. Like there's nothing about us on LinkedIn. As of the time of this posting, there's probably stuff on us on LinkedIn. And then there's some stuff on Twitter as well. But like other than that, it's been purely through, a single ad account.
So Sawyer is eating his own gumbo. He's making the gumbo and he's eating that gumbo.
Yeah.
Man, that is incredible, bro. That's incredible.
Yeah.
1,000
It's a ton of fun
on platform already. And that's what I was going to say. Like, I don't know how you got them because I hadn't heard of the thing. You've been running ads. It's great.
Meta ads. I mean, even through it all, like we're learning. Like, I think this has been the most fun part about it for us is we're like, as we're having conversations with customers, we're like unlocking more and more use cases. And really we're at the point of like, okay, well, which one do we tackle first? So, I'll go ahead and say it out loud. We're looking at like really attacking like the creator sourcing angle of like, okay, there's a ton of marketplaces. They're fantastic to use when you're just getting started, but kind of as you learn the process, you realize, oh, there's so many creators out there that aren't on these marketplaces that are actually better at producing content. And I should be going and talking to them. But when you go and try and do it yourself, you realize it is this game of like, I have to either hire a VA in the Philippines to go and like send thousands of DMs a day, or I need to go and try and manage that myself, but trying to source them in the first place, the platforms make it impossible. I mean, Meta's doing a decent job now with their new like creator marketplace, but even then it's like, it's still very manual, very hard to use. And we've learned, firsthand that there's very low ceilings on the amount of creators you can export out of the Meta creator marketplace. We learned that the hard way.
I think it's broken too. I mean, there's a number of times where it's just broken and, it doesn't work. I mean, I know, hey, I'm not against the Zuck, I know we all have jobs because of the Zuck, but
exactly.
This is really interesting, man. Go ahead, Colin. Sorry, I cut you off.
No, all good. I mean, so talk a little bit about Spyglass, because that basically lets customers look at competitor meta ads and then, basically duplicate them. Do you have, the most common moment where a customer comes to you and it's like, oh my God, this is absolutely incredible after you've pulled that for the first time? What does that kind of like look like when they're going through that?
Yeah, I'd say that like the first aha moment is usually when a brand or user gets into the platform, finds a particular piece of creative that they really like, and they test like the kind of drag and drop to clone functionality. That's really like the first thing, because you're basically like extending like what otherwise would be like, okay, I'm in the meta ad library, I'm now like gonna save this image, copy paste, and I'm gonna go put it in Nano Banana, and then I'm going to kind of prompt back and forth with it to, okay, I've, from one screen dragged this image, and now I can generate it in multiple variations, multiple sizes across multiple products in like a batch of 4. And now I've got, 25 creatives all in like, a matter of 2 sentences. And
that's
so
crazy.
It makes the production timeline like significantly shorter. So that's like the first big aha moment. And then I think the second big aha moment is when you toggle from like the feed and brands over to creators. And now you're looking at like some of the best kind of creators in the world. And you can toggle between all of their content. You can sort by views. So you can make it really easy to find like, okay, what's actually going viral on the internet outside of like what may be performing for one of my competitors' ads. And now I can go and, immediately drag and drop this video, and I can clone it into a brief for my team or myself. Like if I'm the one actually producing the organic content, I can now go and clone this brief, provide it, a little bit more detail about what I want to talk about. And then, you can kick off like deep research with web search that goes and grabs like news from today. So there's like a bunch of different ways that you can really like go deep on this, to like make the output significantly stronger. But, just an initial like clone this brief like works pretty damn well.
It's so smart because I think that's such an important starting point for most brands. I mean, that's where I started from with Gamskins. Is I transparently was copying Huel ads left and right. All of the formats and templates, all of the templates Huel was pushing out. I was like, that's a great ad. Let me steal that. And I'm going to retoggle this, blah, blah, blah. They were great performers because the Huel team has so much spend behind them. I'm like, well, this is a great example. I'm going to pull this one. And little do I know, it's like that is the path forward for most of these guys.
We like, go ahead, Chris.
No. I just find this fascinating. I find the drag and the drop, and that's like next level, like easy button, like do it.
Yeah.
Make it easy.
Yeah.
Whoever used to have that, Staples or whatever, it's like the dummy make it easy button.
Yeah.
It's like that's
the intent.
Crazy.
Yeah, that's the intent. Try and make it easy. We're going to continue to make it easier, of course, like in any way that we can. But part of the nice thing about the drag and drop right now is that you can do it across multiple pieces of content. So like I can go into Spyglass, I can look at 10 different brands, I can drag 10 different pieces of creative all into the same context window, and then I can produce 10 different versions of whatever I'm looking to make across all 10 pieces of those creatives. So I can spin off like a bunch of things to happen kind of in the background all at once. So that's the nice part about the drag and drop versus like, if we just put a button over top of the creative, then you kind of got to click that button 10 times. But either way, we'll probably have both. But yeah, Colin, it's the point of like, it's the classic, like imitate then innovate. Like, we do the same thing. Like when we were first starting to build static ads, it's Suno, it's Cursor, it's like Lovable, it's like all of the big ones. And it's like, okay, we need a starting place just to see like what is like resonating with our user base. And then from there, we start to be able to like get a little bit more creative and start to see like what's working, what isn't, what can we push further on? Like, are there personas that are untapped? We use the platform for that too. So do deep research on new personas. It's like Claude, but for creative teams.
Sawyer, tell me this. I love that you guys are enabling, helping, equipping the creative strategist, because it has become such a crucial role in everything we do.
It's impossible to hire for too.
So this is the thing.
It's like impossible.
Everybody that we talk to who is involved in hiring at all, it's always, what's the most in-demand role? It's creative strategists. Okay, like how do you find them? Like how much do they make? And what are they? And it's it's an all-important piece in this era of e-commerce. But I will say they're a finicky bunch. And I know because I have been one. They're a finicky bunch. And a lot of times they might have in the back of their mind, like, I don't know, Sawyer, he's promising a lot. And maybe this thing's just not as good as it's cracked up to be. It can't do it as I would like things to be done. I mean, have you gotten any feedback like that where people are just like, hey, I expected this to not work because it just sounded 100%. Too good to be true, but it works.
Yeah. I mean, 100%. I mean, and in fairness, like it is still somewhat probabilistic. Like there are things that people are not going to like, but like people don't like Claude's outputs all the time. Like people don't like GPT's outputs all the time. Like people are going to find things that they're like, I like this, but I need to tweak it. So we built functionality directly for this. I mean, when you create a brief, it produces in a doc, and the doc is editable. Like you can just go in and edit it directly, and then you can completely export it into, whether it's like a markdown file, you can export tables into CSVs, you can export the doc directly into a Google Doc. So like we make it editable that, if it's not completely aligned to your expectations, you as a creative strategist can take it the final mile. And we just make it very easy to do it.
I'm impressed, man.
Sawyer, if I'm the brand founder and I'm, spending $50,000 a month on Meta and I'm coming to you, what's that 30-day playbook that you're going to tell me to use general context to get me outperforming an agency? How am I going from 0 to 30 days and you're just like next level?
Yeah, so this is actually something that's like very top of mind for us right now. Like we're
Sure.
working on like how do we actually like automate a lot of this process for net new users.
Yeah.
But I'd say like if you're going in and using it right now, like number one is going to be go, look at all of the competitors, like like not necessarily even just competitors, but like top brands like in and around your niche, top creators in and around your niche. And I would clone scripts, brief script storyboards across everything. So that's like kind of a baseline. I would connect and integrate with Meta. So we've got a direct integration with Meta. I would run a deep report. So like you can use deep research and basically just like look at the last 365 days of the data on Meta and do like deep creative analysis on like what's worked, what hasn't. And then I would basically feed back all of the briefs that you produced and just have it pick the best one based on your actual data performance. And then beyond that, I would spend like 3 hours making assets in Asset Studio, and you'll have enough statics for like the next month.
Asset Studio, man.
Yeah.
I'm looking at it right now, and it sure does
Yeah.
look fancy. It does. It looks
really-
fancy.
it's really
Sawyer.
There's a lot. There's a lot going on under the hood there. I
sure.
mean, like trying
Boy, I
to
believe
build the appropriate like it's called technically it's called a harness. Trying to build like the appropriate harness for how to like actually produce really strong AI creative is like way more challenging than I think anybody had anticipated. Like, the historical answer is just go and, prompt something in Nana Banana, but it's like, how do we actually give you a really strong output when the only context that you are like willing to provide us as a user is like clone this ad.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
sometimes that's all people want to say is like clone this ad, and how do we still ensure that there's a really strong output? So there's a ton of agent frameworks kind of happening in the background, doing everything from like analyzing all of your previous static ads, looking at all of your competitors and analyzing all of their top performing static ads by impressions, looking at your reviews if you've got reviews integrated, and looking at like the voice of customer and trying to like really understand like, okay, what is the like exact, call it like format and language that is most likely to be successful based on the prompt that you provided. So like we can operate with very minimal detail, but obviously, the more detail that you provide us, like the more it's going to be, aligned to what you had in your head.
Got it.
You know what I dig about this, Colin, is it's one of the first points that you said, Sawyer. One of the frustrations as a creative strategist, marketer, etc., is, hey, I want to try this thing out. Let me get in there, but then you got to run it through the House of Congress to get the triple stamp. Like, maybe how much is it going to cost? Like, is there a contract? What is it? What are we using now? And I mean, it's like trying to get a law passed. And the price point that you're at here is it's at the level. It's like, man, I don't care. I'm not going to talk to my boss. I don't care what they think. I'm pulling out mine. I'm going to swipe it to see if I can get better over the next 30 days. And that to me, I really love, because this feels like feels like it's meeting the moment, in the sense that I really believe this era of e-commerce is the rise of the underdog. And it's the age of the Superman marketer. It's the one-man marketing team. And this really seems in line with that, Sawyer.
That's kind of the idea. Yeah. I mean, that's how we experience it here. Like there's two of us. Like that's it.
That's incredible.
Like we have we work with UGC creators, but they're all external. And but like beyond that, like we do all of it in house. And like we're looking at like scaling through Meta and UGC, and we're like running like kind of the operational math internally, and we're like, wait, like no, we only need us. Like we don't need anybody.
Wild, bro.
That's crazy.
Which I think from one perspective, I think you can say like, okay, this isn't great because these are jobs that would have otherwise been created. But like from my perspective, it's just like, there's going to be like 10x more companies that are getting built. And like the creative strategist, or like the VP of marketing, or like the person who like otherwise would have taken the big shiny job, is now going to say, actually, no, I can go in. Like I have all of the tools at my disposal to now go and build my own company. And so that's who we really want to serve, like more than anyone else. It's like it is like the long tail of marketers who have like wanted to build their own thing and haven't felt like they had like the money or resources to do it. And we're saying, hey, now you can.
You're speaking my language, big boy.
Yeah, you really are.
I love it, man. I love it. So, okay. So people are listening to this now. I mean, I've got it pulled up, but tell them, where do they find it? How do they start? Just tell people where to go and what to do first, brother.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So generalcontext.com, pretty straightforward. You can sign up. Onboarding's super simple, takes like 2 minutes. And then from there, we actually like kick off a bunch of agents on the back end of onboarding. So you can already get like a pretty good experience for how the platform works. And then, it's $20 a month to start. And then from there, if you have any questions, like we're literally routing, like 100% of support is getting routed back to me.
Let's go. You're going to talk to Sawyer. You're going to talk to Sawyer specifically.
So like my like, we have like a goal internally of like, I want to have like 10,000 conversations with customers over the next like 180 days. Is like, if I can talk to 10,000 people, like it's fun. It's like statistically impossible that we won't figure out like, where there are kinks, where we can make better decisions, like where we can build better products. Like if I just have, just that many conversations, it feels impossible. So we're not doing a support team where we'll probably do some AI support for like, repetitive questions, but like beyond that, like the goal is to have me talk to as many people as I possibly can. But still keep it in like a standard like PLG motion. Like this is all like, post purchase, like we're using the platform, we're trying to get more value out of it.
I dig it, man.
I love that.
I dig it so much. Sawyer Covington, not just the growth guy for your favorite giant international corporation anymore, but now co-founder and growth guy for General Context. We love it, man. Well, we appreciate you coming on the show, and look forward to getting in here and becoming users ourselves. Thank you, bro.
Thank you, guys.
Sawyer Covington, man. I mean, you're right in. You're going to be talking to Sawyer himself.
That's pretty wild. That's pretty good support too. If you're talking with the founder.
You know what's impressive to me is that, I mean, it's impressive how they're doing this thing and how they have been growing it. They've been growing it by using the product.
Yeah, dog fooding it. It's so smart. It's so smart.
I love that. I love that. Dog fooding it. I mean, he's making the gumbo and selling the gumbo and eating that gumbo,
Yeah. Some of the best companies are scaled with that in mind. There's one directly in Austin. That's a software company that you and I have been on his boat, and he did exactly that same thing. And it scaled them to $30 million pretty quickly.
With a tight team. Tight team. Man, I'm so impressed that he's already at 1,000 customers. I was, I saw the number on the website. It's 500 customers. I was like, but I hadn't even heard the thing. Like, how are they doing this?
Yeah, it's
running ads, paid ads, making good creative.
Good
creative at the speed of thought.
Founder-led content.
Founder-led content, and great tagline too, by the way.
Yeah.
Creative at the speed of thought. Well, we have got an exciting segment coming up last week on LinkedIn. The thing is that most of the e-com world is not as active on X as we would like them to be. So we've got last week on LinkedIn coming up. But before we get there, let's talk about Seguno, ladies and gentlemen. Seguno is the only marketing suite that lives entirely inside of Shopify. What does that mean? It means your emails, your reviews, your banners, etc. It's all there where you already work and play. Why is that important? It means you don't have to trust in some duct tape together data integration that is hopefully verifiably syncing your segmentation, etc. back and forth. Your Shopify data and your email data are one and the same. Okay, this is email 3.0. It's why they won the 2024 Shopify Build App of the Year. One-click automations, actual humans that can help you. If you don't have a full-time email marketer on your staff, Seguno was built for you. Lean teams with big aspirations. They've just released the advanced Shopify segmentation playbook. Go to the URL scrolling across the screen right now and get that. Also, free trial to be had. Go to Seguno. Test drive that baby. Tell them Colin and I sent you. They'll extend that free trial for you to 30 days. Methinks. Okay. Many thanks to Seguno being part of the show. They also make the most epic gear ever. Look at this that I'm wearing right now. Many thanks to Seguno for being part of the show. Now, one of my I would say one of my new favorite segments of the week, not just because I get to play a sound effect that I really enjoy. That is part of it. I confess. But another part is that I don't hardly spend any time over there on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I don't spend any time over there, but this gives me reason and cause to figure out what is going on over there and bring the good news. Bring the good
There you
news
go.
to the rest
Let's
of
do
the
it.
e-com world listening to the show. I'm going to play it now, Jack. What segment am I talking about? Last week on LinkedIn, baby. Big win. Our first post here comes from Baseball Lifestyle 101, the one and only Josh Shapiro. Their second Texas store. If you don't know, Baseball Lifestyle has been opening retail stores for Baseball Lifestyle. And I know you're probably thinking like, baseball. I mean, is there that many baseball players? They've been opening them up all across the country. And their second Texas location has just opened in Grapevine Mills. I mean, one of the largest malls in America, quite literally. Not quite as large as the Mall of America, but one of the largest malls in America, Grapevine, Texas. Huge line out the door before we even opened. Moments like this are a reminder of what happens when you build with the community, not just for it. Baseball Lifestyle is huge on this. Grateful for everyone who showed up, supported, and continues to believe in what we're building. We're just getting started. Grapevine, Texas, baby. So if you don't know Baseball Lifestyle, you should. They're giant. They're a behemoth now, okay, built on the back of what was at one time an Instagram theme page, okay, on baseball stuff. And now not only are they a 9-figure business, they're opening boutique retail stores all over America, and baseball kids love it. You see their shorts and their stuff everywhere. Actually, just past weekend, I saw their socks on one of the neighborhood kids. Huge. I love this. This is quite literally a big win. You like this one?
This is a big win. You love to see folks expanding out of e-commerce into retail. This is a big win. Great for them.
Next big win comes from Smackin Sunflower Seeds. You had Smackin Sunflower Seeds before?
Let's go.
They have just sold 25 million bags of sunflower seeds, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
this
crazy.
Comes from co-founder Brian Waddick. 6 years ago, we were cooking seeds in a college dorm. What started as a crazy idea in a dorm room has turned into something way bigger than we ever imagined. But we're not stopping here. More products, more stores, and a lot more smacking on the way. These guys are what I would say they're top tier in doing the most basic, interesting thing that companies need to do. What is that? Release more stuff, new stuff. Yeah. New is the most powerful word in marketing. You can bring us back, Jack. New is the most powerful word in marketing, and they've always got new flavors to behold, to taste, to try. And if you like sunflower seeds, if you play baseball, or you are just an outside kind of person who likes munching and chawing and, cracking that thing, eating it and spitting it, then they've done an incredible job of continuing to give you a reason to subscribe, get more sunflower seeds, and eat them again. I think it's so smart.
So good. And a ton of flavors. That's absolutely unbelievable. And the fact that you sold 25 million bags, can you conceptualize that for a sec with me? 25 million bags. I wonder how many sunflower seeds. I wonder how many sunflower seeds that is inside of those said bags.
You gotta wonder.
You gotta wonder how many seeds they've been shipping out. That's unbelievable. I love sunflower seeds. This is also a testament to the fact that this is a high quality product.
Limited edition. They have limited edition seeds. I'm looking at the website right now. On the front, on the homepage, the hero, they've got deep dish Chicago pizza flavor. Looks really awesome. It's crazy work. I'm trying to see how many flavors they have, and I don't think I can tell. how many flavors they have. Single flavors. I see. Yeah, they're selling them in bags of 12. You can also buy a bucket. You can buy a bucket.
That's the way to go.
$80. I think that's probably the way to go. We need to have them on here because I've been following them for many years, but I've never talked to these guys. Mexican street corn. How about that flavor? That sounds awesome.
It sounds amazing.
Mexican street corn sounds incredible. And here's cheeseburger flavor. Incredible. It sounds so good. And then you look over here on the limited edition number. Also, everyone should know their sunflower seeds are huge. They're big.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of brands sunflower seeds are tiny. These are big boys, and they got lots of flavor wrapped around them. Yeah, this deep dish pizza was done with Crow Armstrong, PCA. This has got Pete Crow Armstrong. He's got to be a player or a creator that I don't know, but incredible idea. Great execution, taking a simple thing very seriously, and that's why they have sold 25 million bags. Next, Caraway is expanding into a category of product I would not have expected. This comes to us from Kyle Turadek, Senior Director of Growth and E-com at Caraway. Get out the 2026 product launch bingo cards. This one probably isn't on yours, but it should be. Today, we are launching trash and recycling. Did you expect Caraway to launch trash and recycling? No.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not. Our first real step into what Caraway Home looks like beyond the cookware. It's a natural extension of the kitchen, one that's largely been ignored. We approached it the same way we do everything else, designed first, built for how it actually lives in your home. Incredibly proud of the team for pushing this brand into a tough, overlooked category and making it even better, as we always do. You know you want one. Maybe we'll give one away to a certain someone in the comments. Maybe. We didn't make a trash can. We completed the kitchen. That's great framing, to be honest. We didn't make a trash can. We completed the kitchen. I have to say at first blush, and I'm commenting now because I want the giveaway. Give me the trash can, please. I have to say at first blush, I was kind of like, I don't know. I don't know if this is the right. I don't know if this is going to work. But I will say, Kyle, I knew him when he was at Built. He's an absolute crusher. And so, I mean, I think if anybody can make it work, Caraway's got a great brand. They're probably going to make a super millennial mom's, sexy, great trash can that's everybody's going to love having in their kitchen. And if anybody can make it happen, it is Kyle. Your thoughts on this product expansion?
Perfect slide right into Caraway Home. They're going to be expanding more into the rest of the Caraway Home ecosystem. This is how you make an absolute behemoth of a brand, is you start to sprinkle into the rest of the home and categories. This is a perfect first kind of push into that direction. I think many more to come from them. Many more to come.
I think it's a smart move. Caraway Home, complete the kitchen. I just don't get that excited about the trash can,
That's why.
Maybe there's something about it that can kind of fire me up a little bit, Right now, I'm just not that fired up about the trash can.
I kind of see it similar to the way KitchenAid started with the equipment, and then it branched off into much larger things. Like they have the KitchenAid refrigerator now, which is absolutely gorgeous. They have a ton of different KitchenAid products that help kind of expand out to the rest of the kitchen. I see them kind of approaching it through that, and then maybe sprinkling as you go into the living room or the dining room. That could probably be next, is sprinkling into the dining room. I love it. I'm a huge fan of this.
I'm looking at the website right now, and the visuals do look pretty cool. They do look pretty cool for the trash can recycling bin. I mean, seeing how it all like functions and they pair together and they got the colors, and maybe there's something there. Kyle's a smart guy. And I do think they should expand. Why not, if they can? Yeah. Next big win, Once Upon a Farm is now expanding into meat pouches, baby. Okay, fruit, vegetables, been done before. What's more exciting than that? Grass-fed, organic, refrigerated meat pouches. This comes to us from co-founder, Chief Innovation Officer Cassandra Curtis. I had one of these moments today, trying our new organic grass-fed refrigerated meat pouches, where I had to stop in my tracks again. Not only are we the first to introduce a refrigerated meat pouch for babies, no small endeavor, but I actually wanted to keep eating it. Making a meat pouch that actually tastes good is not an easy feat, but we didn't just make it work. We made every single flavor genuinely good. This was a massive cross-functional effort, R&D perfecting quality, taste, and nutrition, OPS figuring out how to actually bring it to life on the line, and marketing absolutely nailing the packaging. Huge shout out to Joey T and everyone who touched this. The level of care, speed, and execution it took to pull this off was not small. Now, I wasn't too excited about the meat pouch when I first heard. I wasn't too excited.
No. We need to work on branding, folks. I'm not going to call things a meat pouch.
I'm looking at it. It still looks like, I'm looking at the packaging. It still looks like food and veggie. I mean, it looks like a typical applesauce kind of deal. But then instead of, like, it has pineapples and apples, and instead of it saying apple pineapple, it says organic chicken. I don't know. I do bet that it's tasty though, because if it's not going to taste good, your baby's probably not going to eat it. I would think, baby needs protein. We got to make it actually taste good. The meat pouch kind of threw me off though. I wasn't ready for the meat pouch.
I don't like the term meat pouch. I think the product is probably phenomenal. It's going to taste great and it's going to be a crusher. We got to work on the framing here a little bit, folks, on meat pouch. That makes me feel not fun on the inside. Yo, put this meat pouch in your mouth. No, dude, I probably won't.
Have a little meat pouch.
Dude, you're not yourself without a meat pouch.
Yeah, your toddler is not themselves without a meat pouch. Baby needs a meat pouch. Baby needs
I don't like that.
Pouch.
I don't like that.
Baby needs a meat pouch. What else can I say? New retail partnership. Midday Squares got some serious love on this. This is a long post. New retail partner from them, but it's the graphic that is the most explanatory here. So my guy Jake Carls at Midday Squares went to one of their new retail partners, show up, talk to him, all of the things. Stu Leonard's. Well, he rolls up and there's a giant sign on the side of the store that you can see from the highway. Okay. This is highway off I-87 in New York. Giant sign says, "Welcome Jake Carls, Midday Squares." And they were telling him how people love the PBJ. And supposedly this is like the third largest billboard in the country. Pretty crazy love here for Stu Leonard to be showing this to Midday Squares. Pretty awesome. Big win.
Big win. This is how you start a partnership, by the way, with this type of thing. A surprise, an incredible, gesture of good faith. This is awesome. This is the way to do it, folks. This is great. I'd love to have them on the show as well.
Yeah, we should have them on the show. I'd love to have Jake tell us about seeing his face 50 feet high up in the air on the sign. It's a great welcoming, great kickoff to a partnership.
Yeah.
Okay, lightning round for the day. Our last few stories. Anthropic is coming to eat Lovable. That is correct. There has been a leak of code that has gone out over the weekend via somebody at Anthropic. Another leak from Anthropic. They created a Lovable-like feature where you can build full stack apps easily. They are coming after everything. Do you have these? Yeah, show us these. Okay, see, let's ship something great. Okay, show us this next one. Your app will be ready shortly. Okay, show us this next one. Yeah, recipes, screenshot, verified preview, scan for security risk. How about this next one, Jack? And then whatever that is right there. It seems like they're coming to eat Lovable's lunch. You like this? You hate it? What do you think about it, Colin?
I love it. I mean, I think everybody is going to be competing for a similar kind of pie, so to speak, as these AI models get more and more competitive. It's great for the end consumer. Really good competition is wonderful for the end consumer because it means these companies have to keep improving the product or else people are going to migrate. On top of all of that, that means that the price actually for everything comes down and pushes down a little bit with fierce competition. And so this is amazing for the end consumer. You do want to see these types of things. You don't want just a kind of a monopolistic Lovable floating around by themselves, owning the entire vibe coding app space. So this is great. I love this. And I just hope that they make a focus on the actual functionality, which is Claude right now. I hope they keep the main thing, but I like the fact they're taking shots.
Is Lovable the giant? I think Anthropic is the giant. The monopoly is Anthropic, is it not?
Well, so I would say in the vibe coding to app space, there's probably two giants right now. It's Lovable and Replit. And so in their respective playgrounds, Claude hasn't done anything so far.
What about Cursor? What does Cursor do?
Cursor's cool. Yeah, Cursor's kind of an interesting beast into all of this. I haven't heard a lot of Cursor news recently, which is kind of interesting. Replit has been on an absolute tear, though. Same with Lovable. So it's interesting. You really want to have these guys kind of at each other's throats because it's better for the end consumer.
It's an interesting perspective. I was, when this first came up, I had the thought like Anthropic's just going to swallow everyone. But I think this is a good point that you're making here. The competition is going to force everybody to get it better. It's good for the end user. That's fair.
OpenAI should do it next. Google Gemini should do it next. I mean, it's just a natural progression of things. All AI models are eventually going to have all functionality.
That's interesting. Well, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but it is one to watch. Anthropic continues to ship. We should call them the shipbuilders. They're the ship masters. Yeah. They continue to ship. The Masters is over, but the gnomes remain. Rory McIlroy did get his second Masters. Good on him for doing it. But as we have storied here on the show last week, it is the merch that I find most interesting. We talked about these gnomes, a set of gnomes. However, as the Masters closed yesterday, there was a historic price paid for a first gen 2016 gnome. And I'm going to read it to you. This comes from Darren Rovell. Darren Rovell. There will be a new record price paid for a first-year Masters gnome 2016. Golden Age bid has one closing in its auction tonight, and the current bid with buyer's premium is $28,828. Original price at Augusta for the gnome, $35.
Crazy.
So, I mean, how does one create generational wealth in 2026? You buy Masters merch 10 years ago, and then you just hold it. You hold
exactly. Yeah. The resale market for Masters stuff is unbelievable, including the swag too. The clothing and the swag, same type of resale market.
It's bananas. It's crazy.
Bananas. Yeah.
I want to go just to get the merch. I mean, I want to go and hang out, really.
Yeah.
But I want to go just to get the merch. A couple other things from the Masters to round out the week. Look at these menu. Look at these menu items, menu prices. This is 2016 versus 2026. Egg salad, 2016, $1.50. Egg salad in 2026, $1.50. Pimento cheese sandwich in 2016, $1.50. Pimento cheese sandwich in 2026, $1.50. So you get the point. Now, some of these have increased. Okay, inflation is real. Coffee in 2016 was $1. Now it's $2. So, significant increase, but doesn't break the bank. I think this is like one of everybody's favorite parts of going to the Masters is how accessible the snacks are. But one in the comments reminded us that the Masters concession prices quite nice, but the Masters ticket prices those are the ones that you get a second mortgage for. Anyway, I loved the Masters more than ever. I want to go, and I just feel like this is like a cultural high point in Q2 100%. For all of America. And I watched it probably for the first time, and I got into the merch, and now I want to go. And I find it very interesting for the resale slice of e-com. I think there's a lot to see there, and I want Landforce to come on and talk about it.
Yeah, and a special shout out to Whoop, who is a sponsor of Rory McIlroy. and he wore a green Whoop the entire time. And then they were live tweeting all of his data during the
crazy work.
The actual time he's playing, and he gives them rights and permissions to do that. It's one of the best use cases of a product in a live sport ever. Great for their team, and good on them for using a green band to kind of pop out of the television and also to be in line with the Masters branding as well.
Crazy work. Talk about content to commerce. Crazy work for the Whoop team to do that live as it's happening. It's such an incredible idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they're doing it with more athletes as well. And so it's just whoever you think of next. You know, can we branch into tennis? Can we branch into baseball? Can we branch into football? Who else can we have that wears this live? You know, what's it like for, you know, ex NFL quarterback to throw the game-winning touchdown pass in the Super Bowl while he has the Whoop on his arm?
Ice in the veins, baby.
It's just unbelievable. It's a great use case. It's a great product.
You know what I want to see? I want to see Tom Brady is no longer playing, but I want to see Joe Burrow, the Mr. Ice in the veins. I want to see him like make a fourth quarter Super Bowl winning drive and Whoop be putting out his stats and his heart rate be like 47 or something because there's just ice in those veins. That is such a cool use case for e-com content to commerce. It's incredible. What a masterclass.
Yeah. And you know, good taste aside, obviously it shouldn't be Joe Burrow. It should be Lamar Jackson. But, you know, good taste aside, it's a phenomenal placement for the product.
Well done to the Masters. Well done. Well done. And I can't wait. I can't wait until it is back. Lastly, last story of the day, the person that everyone is trying to hire. And I really believe this to be the case. This comes to us from Andrew Young, who is infamous for getting people in tech and all of the who's who. They get together at Andrew Young's hosted parties. He says, almost every founder I know is hiring for this role. What is he talking about? Screenshot. Social media. Not only can craft and execute brand voice on LinkedIn X, but can put together creator pods, contests, whatever else is necessary for scaling social. A writer, producer, and marketer who is culturally attuned and exceptional at creating content. They follow the founder around and turn repackaged thoughts into a barrage of posts, videos, newsletters, and memes. The most important factor, though, is speed. Most social media marketers today, number one, do not know how to capture attention. And number two, take days for a turnaround. The future of marketing will require instant turnarounds to respond to trends and news cycles. They should be on 24/7. I've only met a few of these people. They are a unicorn. This is going to be my take is like, yeah, that's like the most important person in the game. But these people are few and far between. And if you want to hire them, they've already got their own business. They've already, you got to hire them. You got to give them a big bag. You got to give them a big bag.
Yeah. I mean, you just laid out basically 5 different jobs right there. And the people that are extremely good at all of that, like you just said, those unicorns, they already know that. And so now they're like, okay, well, I mean, I'm just going to start my own business at this point and get clients because it's a very hard juxtaposition and everybody wants this. It's really hard to pull off.
You got to find them before they know that they are what they are. That's what you got.
It's basically what we did with Tommy at Triple Whale is we found him right before he figured that out.
Exactly.
But then he figured it out while he was working there and he was like, well, this doesn't really work for me anymore. And so then now he has a massive company and, you know, it's a great example. You have to find that person very early on.
It's like D-Rock with Gary Vee.
It's D-Rock. Yeah.
D-Rock was his follow him every day, make a vlog every day, and they were all like works of art at the time. I can't remember if this was 2016 or 2017 or when it was, but it was just the turnaround and the time and the editing. It's just like, wow, how are they doing this? It was a guy. It was a single guy. It was D-Rock.
Grinding.
And, you know, how much would it cost to pay for D-Rock to do that today? Like you would have to pay a big.
He has a company.
He's got a company now. That's the point.
That's the point.
You got to find these unicorns before they know they are unicorns, and But if you want to come and give us some of your unicorn magic, we'll take it too. Many thanks to Brett Ender of Noble Origins coming on the show. Creator to co-founder. Content to commerce. I mean, that guy, he is the playbook. He did it.
Yeah.
And many thanks to Sawyer Covington coming on and talking with us about what they're doing at General Context. Very interesting. Many thanks to Seguno, Postscript, and Incense for making this show possible. And many thanks to you for joining us. I know that you want swag like this. I know that you do.
Ooh,
you do. The vest. Let me just show you just one more time the West Major. It's the nicest shirt I've ever owned, to be honest. And we've got more incredible guests coming up this week. More to be had. The internet never stops, and we look forward to having you back. Thanks for joining us. We will catch you on the other side.